All right, guys. Today is October 12th, 2025. Coming at you for the live stream talking about The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 3 as a whole. I haven't seen episode 6 yet, but I'll watch it this week. We'll talk about the first 5 episodes, New York Comic Con a little bit, any other shows or movies that you're watching. Football, of course. Baseball's going on, hockey's going on now, so a lot of stuff's going on right now for us to talk about, in the world of sports entertainment. I guess WWE was something yesterday, crown jewel. So, I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe and anything else you guys want to talk about. So, like I said, today is October 12th, 2025. We're getting closer and closer to Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, or whatever you celebrate and enjoy and everything there too. I know tomorrow's Columbus Day, and I was looking on the map. I think like Canadian Thanksgiving. Is that a thing? I don't know. Anybody can weigh in there too. So, but we finished up, I believe it was the season finale of Peacemaker, season 2. Watched a documentary about Saquon Barkley. It's called Saquon. It's on Prime. We watched the John Candy movie. And if you have Prime and you love John Candy, it's definitely worth watching. It's a good movie that highlights his life, the career. It's pretty amazing. There's all these interviews and everything. And so it's called John Candy, I Like Me is what it's called. And, so other than that, what are you guys watching? Anything else going on? I know New York Comic Con is underway. They had the Daryl Dixon panel. I was not much really came out of it on there too. So Naked One says, did you watch Pepsi stock jump last week? $10? Yeah, no, it's up to like 150 or something. But yeah, no, I got not a couple shares, we'll just say. And hopefully they keep going up, and I'll keep holding on for a long, long time. Hopefully the next 30 years I'll keep those shares. So, but thank you, Jeannie, Negan 1, Carol, Tim, Isaiah, everyone else joining as we speak. Go Cowboys. I believe they play the Carolina Panthers, so hopefully they can win. And I don't have any. I think I have Jake Ferguson going in one of my FanDuel pools, so hopefully he gets a good thing on there too. So Carol says Bloodline on Netflix, good series. So yeah, we started. That's the one with the hotel, Ray Burns, and a couple other pretty big actors are in that. And we're only on episode, I think, 2 or 3. Like the first one, like we watch it a little bit at a time. Like I'm a one episode at a time kind of person. So it's a good show. It draws you in right away to see what's going on, and it keeps you guessing. And again, we're only a couple episodes in. So I like that. We're just, not every show's coming back yet, but more and more shows are coming back. And then we're going to have, pretty soon it's going to be Stranger Things, and it's going to be this, it's going to be there. All these things are coming around. And, of course, the sports is, I'm excited for the NBA and everything else going on later this year. College basketball and college football, of course. So, yeah, I hope so, Negan 1. I know I was buying it as much as I could afford when it was down. And, I have faith in a lot of those companies, stock and Pepsi, Coke, Verizon, just like the bigger companies that have a good dividend. And hopefully it'll be, rocking and rolling and doing well over the next 30 years. Because, again, I'm in the long haul for this stuff. I want these dividends for a long, long time. So, Jeannie says she has not been watching anything, reading a lot, currently rereading the Hillerman Navajo Tribal Police books. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, any kind of entertainment, comics, books, short stories, shows, movies, anything, it's a great time right now because there's so much stuff that's there to be. If you're bored, like if you're actively bored, you should hopefully be able to find something like right away, especially on any of the streaming services. or even on YouTube alone. How many movies can you watch that are free there? You know, my wife watches different movies at the gym when she's on like the treadmill and stuff, and it's just kind of cool. And they're free. You just have to watch ads, so you can catch up on stuff if you haven't seen it before, or you watch it there. You know, definitely check out some different stuff. Isaiah says, to be honest, Bri, I really am enjoying The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon this season. So, yeah, I mean, as a whole, I think it's a good show. You know, is it something amazing? Is it the best show ever? I don't think so. But it's a good story so far. I mean, it's worth watching. Even though last week's episode, I'll talk about that, it felt like an one-off episode, like off the beaten path side quest mission that he had, you know, that Daryl did. And it was a good episode. That could have been, like, if it was a little bit longer, you know, and there was a little bit more to it, like a movie. Like, it was enough that was pretty action-packed and pretty cool. And you could tell when the stunt double was there on the train, and that was not Norman Reedus for sure. Game says, did you cry when Negan killed Glenn? I might have teared up a little bit. I don't know if it was when Negan killed Glenn. I think it was more of like Maggie's reaction and, you know, the first strike when Glenn was still alive, technically. Like, after a while, it just got too much. But it was definitely sad. I don't know if I might have shed a tear on there too, you know. Like, that was a big deal, you know. Episode 701 is, there's no other way around it. It's a very sad, emotional episode. And if you don't care about it, it didn't get you upset, then you don't care about these characters one bit. And that's okay too. But it definitely was the turning point for the series that for a lot of people, it hurt the show and hurt the series more than it helped anything. Like, killing off two beloved characters is not a good thing. So like I said, New York Comic Con was, or is still going on right now as we speak. There was some Daredevil news with Charlie Cox bringing out, I don't know her name, the actress who plays Jessica Jones. She came out. So I'm hoping that all those actors from the Defenders and Jessica Jones and Daredevil and, you know, even if Iron Fist is a thing, but can come to the Daredevil show. And it looks pretty awesome. Like, I love the Daredevil Punisher stuff. They're doing a really good job with it. And Marvel, I think, is going to do a really great job next year with their shows, with Daredevil, with the movie. I don't even know which movies come out next year for it. If it's Avengers, Doomsday, or whatever, I don't even know, whatever it is. But I'm sure that's going to be good. The X-Men 97 Season 2 should be amazing, which was really great. Ross Marquand is the voice of Professor X, which is cool. The Wolverine video game should be amazing. If it's just as good or if not better than the Spider-Man game. What else is coming out from Marvel? I'm not sure, but it looks pretty awesome, those things. And then, of course, the other shows that I probably even haven't mentioned that I don't even know everything there. But I was trying to look up the information that was shown for Daryl Dixon Season 4, or even Season 3, Season 4 at the Comic-Con panel. Negan One says, The Running Man trailer looks good in November. I don't like that guy who's playing Arnold Schwarzenegger's part, I believe. It's the guy that was in Top Gun and he's in Twisters and stuff. I don't like that actor. There's just something about him that just annoys me. Like, I don't really have any desire to see any movies that guy's in. But if it's worth, because The Running Man is a movie that is one of probably Arnold's weaker movies, but if it's done in a way nowadays, I think it could be like, but you know, when they tried to remake any of the shows or any of the movies that were done in the 80s and even 90s, it's usually not done very well. You know, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, there's the thing that really kind of annoys me when they try to redo something, remake something. Oh, it's Coleman Domingo is I thought he was in that, but good for him. I think he's a good actor. You know, I think a lot of the people that were on Fear the Walking Dead were pretty good actors. It was just the story wasn't really good. And as a whole, the people they brought in, not everybody, but majority of the people that they bring in to the Walking Dead universe, they do a good job. I think as a whole, the actors that they've had, and a couple annoying parts, but overall they've done very well with, filling in the roles of the comics or just for the show. I was watching, because I go to Sam's Club every Saturday morning and I get a rotisserie chicken that they don't use rotisseries anymore. They use air fryers, or like an air fryer convection oven type of thing, I believe. And I was ripping up the chicken and putting it in a container yesterday, and I was trying to watch a movie or something. And I was watching Judge Dredd, and that movie's not very good, but it's not bad either. It's not very bad, but it's one of Sylvester Stallone's weaker movies, in my opinion. Like, I like Demolition Man, and I like a bunch of his other movies, obviously. But every time I think about it too, I think of Herschel's in there. And he's one of the cannibals that are in the desert, the wasteland area when the jet goes down instead of going to the prison. It gets shot down. And that was the first time seeing, Herschel on there. But what's up, Hard Nixie? And I didn't watch all of it, but I remember taking it back and watching, because I remember watching certain movies in the movie theater, and that was one of them. And getting to watch certain things at certain times just takes you back to, different shows or movies or sitcoms. Takes you back, hopefully, to a better place and a good place as well, too. Especially if you go to a movie. Like, it's crazy how the movies were pretty cheap. I mean, you can get back in the day, 80s and 90s, you can get a movie ticket for like $5 or less than $5. And the seats were all, they probably were just dirty and whatever. The sticky floors. You can go to the movies with, $20 and have a great experience of movie ticket, some sort of drink, popcorn, and candy, and you're pretty making out. Nowadays, $20 gets you and another person in the door, if that's even plausible. Probably a little cheaper, but it's one person is really not going to get you much on there too. Yeah, movie with a popcorn and a date is probably more than that, because the movie tickets around here where I live is like at least probably 11 and change, $12 at minimum. So that's your $25 right there. Then you got to go. You probably got to sneak in some candy or something. But the concessions, exactly like Harold says, that's the most expensive part. Popcorn, candy, ice cream, pretzel bites, something. Don't ever get the Slurpee, by the way, too, because the Slurpee always has too much sugar in it, and it makes you thirstier. Then you got to have some water too, so you got to have a backup water with the Slurpees. That's not really a good choice in my opinion. Got to just go classic water or soda, like cherry Coke or something like that myself, but So, yeah, I said it before at the beginning. I finished up Peacemaker, which I thought was really good. And when the latest episode 8, they were in a couple of different spots. And I'm like, that looks familiar. And so I looked up the filming locations. And they filmed a lot of it in different parts of Georgia. And parts of it was filmed in Savannah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we were there. Last year, my wife and I went to Savannah, Georgia. And if you've never been, I highly recommend it. It's a nice spot. And especially if you watch Peacemaker, when they go to the Big Belly Burger, that's a place that's kind of towards the end, towards the water there. And then when they're on the water, they go onto like a ferry boat. And that's just the river right there. And I'm guessing it's the Savannah River. Carol says she gets the senior discount, which is good. It's always good to have a discount. Got to get that discount, savings, deals. Got to save that money, man. Make that money, save that money, invest that money. That's the name of the game, in my opinion, right now. And that's what we're trying to do. Got to pay my taxes next month. It's going to be a lot of money. Florida's getting kind of crazy. That's why we're looking into go to either Georgia or South Carolina to save on taxes, to save money a little bit here and there. And so in a couple weeks, we'll be going on a little vacation. So I'll be doing the live stream for 2 more weeks. I'm going to finish up October 26th for this kind of time, and then maybe I'll do a couple more at the end of the year, a couple live streams for the end of the year type of thing. But probably around the holidays, just to say hello and talk to you guys. And because I do miss talking to you guys when it's away, even though it is nice to have a little break to do some things. And, it's just, but ultimately, got to have some topics of stuff to talk about. And by that time, hopefully, we'll have some more information about Daryl Dixon Season 4 and Dead City. But, right now, there's, like I said, there was New York Comic Con, the panel, Daryl Dixon panel, and I think it was like Gimple, the showrunner, and Daryl, or Norman Reedus. I think that's all I saw. I don't know if Greg was there. I don't think Melissa was there. But they really didn't say anything. There's a video going around that I watched before I came to the live stream of them literally showing you nothing from the set. Daryl is with a stunt double of Carol, and he's like, hey, Norman here with Melissa, and it's not Melissa. Then Melissa joins, and there's 2 Carols, and they're just talking about how amazing Season 4 is going to be, and they're in Spain still. And so like I said, I haven't seen today's episode, and I haven't seen the preview for next week's episode, which I believe is the season finale, because it's 7 episodes, is Season 3, I believe. They're going to have to set up Season 4, which should be the final season. And like I said, does it end? If they're still filming in Spain, can they really call Spain Ohio? I mean, I guess you can say that in the fields and whatever and say it's any kind of field, and they're still filming now, so they still have time. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but Daryl's got to make it home, right? We say this every live stream. We want the final resolution ending of Daryl Dixon to be Daryl and Rick are reunited. And I would assume that Rick can show up in Spain because they have the ability now with the Civic Republic to fly all over the place. But eventually Daryl's got to send out a message to Maine or somewhere that his people are. Ohio, I don't know. I don't know how easy it is to send out a message in the Walking Dead universe. But it just is one of those things where I'm like, what's it going to be? And I guess I haven't seen episodes, 6 and 7 yet. So hopefully they set things up. But, like before, when Daryl got a message out and talked to Carol, and Carol was like, he came back. And Daryl's like, who came back? What came back? Who came back? This was back. I don't know. What? And we're like, oh, who came back? What was it going to be? Is it Rick? Is it Morgan? Is it Ezekiel? Is it that? Is it this? Is it this? And there was nothing. It was like Hope came back. Some nonsense or whatever. I don't remember what it was. It was some stupid thing. Build it up, but fall flat. Like the Walking Dead way is build it up, and then kind of weak. The build up is there, but the actual thing is just not worth it for a lot of things. Not everything, but a lot of things in my opinion. So I love the idea of Rick and Daryl reuniting. And if they're there, again, if Norman and Melissa aren't seen filming at the studio or in Sonoy or whatever, I'm guessing that Rick goes there. If they show up, but then there's been all this talk about Rick and Andrew Lincoln's going to play Rick Grimes again and reunite, blah, 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 on there too. Or if Daryl's show is the last Daryl Dixon show, but then there's another thing of the Walking... I don't know how much more Walking Dead there's going to be, because literally after the Daryl Dixon show ends next year, we have Dead City. And what's that going to be? Is that going to be the final thing that concludes the all aspects of The Walking Dead, because it could. But I don't understand what it's going to be for the final ending. But there's got to be some fan service. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it should be, right? So Daryl Dixon, last week's episode was Daryl on a motorcycle driving down, and there's a train. And somehow the walkers are pulling the train. Very slowly, but they are pulling the train. And I don't know how many walkers were there, if it was 50. But I guess you had to initially get it moving, and then they just have to maintain this certain thing. It was kind of a good idea. We never seen it before. Kind of cheesy, kind of stupid, kind of interesting, kind of everything, right? But because they were following the guy on the horse playing the guitar, and there's a guy bathing, and whatever. He's like, water is such a tough commodity here, and he's bathing in it. Like, just so kind of stupid. But it just showed that he had so much water and he could just bathe in it. He had so much power, so much everything, And then Daryl comes across the guy with no eyes. And he's like, agua, 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 agua. That's all he said. Agua, agua, agua. And then Daryl gives it to him, and he's like pounding the water. But he'd be dead. Like, there's no way that guy would have survived if he didn't drink in 3 days. Remember, rule of 3. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. General rules of 3. He would have been gone, but whatever. And then Daryl comes across this group that has leprosy. And they're trying to get water, and he's trying to do this, trying to help them out. So it was like along the way, Daryl helped these people out, which is nice. Maybe they come around again, but probably just going to be one and done of a part, but we'll have to see. And I believe this week's episode had a big battle and scenes and this and whatever they're calling them on there too. So, but at the end of the day, Daryl going to a group is what Daryl does. Daryl has been the biggest person of being so involved with so many groups. Like, he was with the main group. He was with the sanctuary. He was with the claimers. He was with Dwight and Sherry. He was with these leprosy people. He was with the church people. He was, when in doubt, Daryl's going to find a group and he's going to hang out with them and he's going to be good. Of course, Alexandria. Of course, Commonwealth. Of course, this. Daryl's part of a million groups. It's kind of crazy. The group in Maine, like, it's nuts, which is fine. But it's like, that's the MO of what Daryl is. Yeah, Wilson says that kind of thing, Brian, is what I'd have expected in Fear the Walking Dead. That's true. Yeah, the Reapers, exactly. See, like, I don't even know how many it is. It's like 10 plus groups. Like, Daryl's been, when in doubt, Daryl goes in and joins a group, and then he leaves. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, exactly, Wilson. I mean, I feel like the train thing is a Fear the Walking Dead thing, but it's even like, it would have been hokier and cheesier than what they actually did there. And then Daryl was like that. He was being like John Wick. And you could tell the stunt doubles there was probably several of them who Norman was not doing a lot of those stunts. Because I believe when he runs around, he's got like a bad knee or whatever. And, he's an old man now. But either way, Daryl can do it all. Daryl takes out the walkers, gets the water back for the people, and then takes over and then is on to the next spot. The one thing that was kind of cheesy, too, is that Roberto is being hanged or hanging around on the bridge, and the walkers are like grabbing his shoes. Why did they just kill him? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I'll never understand when the people... They captured him, took Justina, Roberto was captured, and they're like, he has to suffer. Well, no, it gives them enough time for someone to save them. That's exactly what it was all about. And, I bet I'll do it in 2 swings or 2 slices. And he does it in 1, and he definitely would have got it in 2 because it was basically about to break anyway. But he was saved, and nonetheless, that's fine. But we'll have to see what happens with these 2 remaining episodes. And again, some of you guys probably have seen the episode 6. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it continues on. And again, Daryl is an interesting enough show. It's definitely better than Dead City, in my opinion. And Daryl and Carol are, much more involved in the Walking Dead universe and more entertaining and interesting than Maggie and Negan. Even though I think Negan is right up there with interesting with Daryl and Rick and all those guys. Like, I feel like he's very captivating and interesting to see what happens. And I've seen more and more photos of Jeffrey Dean Morgan with fans in Massachusetts filming. And so that's another show that we'll have to see what the resolution is. What's going to happen with that? Because that one's definitely trailing off. It's definitely... they really have to... I'm hoping that Daryl Dixon show ends with everybody reunited and whatever. And then the Dead City stuff is the last Walking Dead show. But you have more of a budget now because you're not paying Daryl and Carol and executive producer, showrunner, this, that. You're not playing that. All the time, energy, budget, everything can focus on Dead City. So then ramp that up, better story, better budget, better everything, and then boom. Just improve it a little bit too, Wilson says, yes, I've seen episode 6, average episode, same as the season. So, yeah, there's a certain amount of level. Hopefully, I would love for people to be, yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing. They set things up. And, we have to see Kudrone again. And we know we're going to see him next season because he was seen filming. So, we know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to be seen this season or not. But, I would love for things to just make sense, set things to connect. But again, we get what we get and we don't get upset. That's kind of, we move on too. So yeah, a lot of people, Daryl, I don't know if this show would have been very good or worth watching if it wasn't for Daryl and Carol. Like, imagine if it was just no-name characters. Like, if this was, The Walking Dead Europe, like that's what it's called instead of Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Walking Dead Europe. And you followed a person or 2 people or a couple or something, and they were doing all the things that it wasn't Daryl and Carol, would it still be a good show? Would it be worth watching? I don't know. Because part of it's hard to say. It's hard to justify between the two of Daryl and Carol not being involved. Pierre and Margot. Yeah, something like that. That's good. Those are 2 good names. And that's fine. But there's just no way to tell. So... yeah, a lot of people, Daryl and Carol, are their favorites, and that's good. They are. And I highly recommend, if you can, if you ever get a chance to meet either one of those 2 actors, Norman and Melissa. They're both great. Definitely recommend if there's ever a convention or something there. Pretty cool. I was talking to my wife yesterday. I was like, I kind of miss going to Georgia for the Walker Stalker conventions that was like during the Walking Dead heyday. Our first convention was season 6 of The Walking Dead. So that was a long, long time ago. And we went to Terminus, and we went to here, and we saw this, and we saw there. And we saw a bunch of filming sites and filming locations, and went to Sonoy and took the Atlanta movie tours. And it was just awesome. Like, it was just, I wouldn't say I wish I could go back at that time, but it was just a great time. It was a great time to be around there too. And so that's why I have an affinity for Georgia, even though I'm looking at a little bit more of South Carolina, but it's all kind of like the same, like the South Carolina, Georgia border of Augusta, North Augusta is all, a nice spot and carryover. So, we're going to go there in a couple weeks for vacation, check it out, see if it's a possibility for, moving there. Jeannie asks, do they have like a walking tour in Sonoy? Like I could buy a map and just stroll around on my own time. They used to have tours that you could actually book and go around and people would show you pictures and whatever. I don't know if the website, there was a thing I found on Google where it was like someone put up the different filming sites. And if you just went to Sonoy, there's a lot of filming sites that are just there. Like the Claimer House, the Pudding House is down the street. I believe the Negan House from the Negan episode is close to there. Woodbury is downtown Sonoy. The place where Tara went and kind of hid for a little bit. You know, certain people are... it's just... there's enough things to go around that you wouldn't have to... and then also, hopefully, Nick and Norman's is still there. Part of the Commonwealth scenes were filmed there now. Like, it's just blown up. I don't know if they still have the Woodbury shop, but hopefully they do. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the big announcement of the auction that The Walking Dead is having. So I think it's coming up this month. And if you're interested, definitely look up like The Walking Dead auction. But you can buy some things from The Walking Dead. I'm sure they'll be authenticated, and you should get a certificate of authenticity, because you better get that, right? And but I don't know what they're actually selling, because I know some of the things are in like the Smithsonian or something, and I don't know how many Lucille's there are and how many Michonne katanas there are, and Rick Colt Python pistols, Daryl Dixon crossbows, and certain things. I don't know. But I don't know if people are really going to buy that much of it too. Like, would you really want the original Lucille? Probably, right? And there's got to be more than one, especially because the Lucille that Negan used to kill Glenn and Abraham with, and then Rosita shot a bullet into Lucille. Like, it was just kind of crazy. Herschel's head is in the Smithsonian, I believe. One of Michonne's katanas. There's a bunch of things that are there, so... And then they'll probably have, different smaller pieces. But it's something that you can look into. But I know that was kind of the bigger news. And that definitely kind of confirms to me that it's on the way out. Once you start selling stuff, it's the estate sale. That's what it kind of feels like. It kind of feels like it's on the way out. And, I got the replica Michonne katana. I got the replica Lucille. I got a bat that's a wooden bat with barbed wire and stuff on it. It's like legit thing. I put Christmas lights on mine and still have the Christmas lights on there. And it was funny because I was going through the videos the other day on the channel, and I guess I made a holiday one with the bat and Milo's in it. And it's always nice to see Milo in the videos because he passed away in January. And it's always kind of cool to see that. Those videos will live forever. And so anytime I want to see, and, Milo's the background on my phone. So when I turn it on, I see Milo. And, there's just been a lot this year. It's been in 5 days, Milo's been gone for 9 months. It was my dad's birthday a couple of days ago and my mother-in-law's birthday a couple of days ago. And so it was just a crazy year. And we're getting through it, guys. It's October 12th, which is crazy to say that in, 2.5 months, this year's over. So hopefully you got some stuff going on, trips, vacations, holiday stuff. I don't know. Something to look forward to. Later this month, next month, end of the year, next year. Just got to plan some stuff and get it, set up. Tonight, I didn't see this week's episode of Tulsa King, but I saw it last episode. And it was so stupid with the whole thing, how it played out. We're like, oh, just stay back and bottle the liquor. And they're like, no, we got to go do this. And then it just kind of backfired, and now it's all messed up. But you're like, ugh. Christy asks, Doc, did you electrify your Lucille? No, I did not. I did not electrify my Lucille. I wasn't with the Croat. I just made it holiday style with some Christmas lights. But I'm liking Tulsa King as well. And I think it'd be really cool to be in Georgia and to know that they're filming something. And I wonder how hard it is to be like an extra in a movie or something, you know? Like, I think it would be cool to do. Like, I wouldn't want to do it as my career or a job, but like, if I was going to be in the Augusta, North Augusta, you know, Savannah, whatever area, and they're filming something, I'd be like, yeah, let me go see, fill out some paperwork, go see what it's like to be on set, and kind of see what it's like in the movie business, you know, if it's an option. Because I know they film a lot of stuff. Hopefully they still film a lot in Georgia. And I feel like they do because of all the tax breaks and incentives. Wilson says the Georgia Tour Company shut down in Sonoy due to Julie dying, but another company is nearby to do Walking Dead, Stranger Things tours. Yeah, I mean, I would assume there's got to be some business for filming or for a tour still, because they film a lot of stuff, or they have at least filmed a lot of stuff of Walking Dead, Marvel, Stranger Things, other movies, other shows. Like when you're in Sonoy, they have little like placard things in between the bricks where like Fried Green Tomatoes was filmed there and a couple other things were filmed there. And of course, The Walking Dead. I don't know if it was Pet Cemetery 2 or like something. I forget what it is. It's some different movie. But it's kind of cool. You know, if you're in Georgia, and I don't know if people are still doing road trips and getting around because life is pretty expensive and the tariffs and everything's going on there too. So I got gas at Sam's Club yesterday when I was there on Saturday, and I think it was like $2.82 or something like there too. Is, you know, I was like, all right, that's not bad. It's not good either, but you know, it's sub $3, which is kind of sad when you think that's a good price, but I'll take it. Negan says I would want a Colt Python. Yeah, I think Rick's gun would be kind of cool. What would you guys want? You know, Jeannie says Carol's knife. Negan 1 says Colt Python. Of course, I have a replica, like I said, of Michonne's katana and Lucille. So I don't know if I'd really need that. But I would like Rick's gun would be kind of cool. Daryl's crossbow would be kind of cool. I don't know. What else is there? Ezekiel's Zatiochi sword, cane thing would be kind of cool. What else you got? What other weapons? What other gear? What other stuff would you have? Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have something, you know. Yeah, like I said, Jeannie, I would look up, you know, Walking Dead filming locations. And then, yeah, the hat's good. That's a good one, Hard Nixie. The sheriff hat. I don't need Shane's hat because this is a replica of Shane's hat, but Rick's gun. I wonder would be the weight of the props, you know, because I know a lot of them have, you know, the prop with the CGI that has the green ball on the end for the fake thing to stab into the walker's head or whatever. Then you have the real knife, because I saw I don't know if you call him the armorist, but the person in charge of the weapons and the props on set. Cowboys TD. Who scored at Big Tree? Who got the TD? And there's different parts of it. Like when they were saying like the props when you're all around people that you could hurt people or whatever. You can put the sheath for the knife, and that's usually a real knife. And so it's different. There's definitely different props. Oh, Negan says he has an actual Colt Python, exactly like Rick's. Pretty cool. Fullback? What? Nah, man, we need Javonte Williams, man. No fullback. That's weak, man. But I'll take the touchdown. That's cool. Because, I mean, I feel like The Walking Dead, I would love something from, like, The Sopranos. Because I was talking to some patients this week about, like, the best shows. And we're talking about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. And, you know, I was like, well, my favorite shows of all times are Breaking Bad and Sopranos. Walking Dead, you know, like, they're definitely up there. And so to have something from their show, I mean, I'm not like the hugest collector anymore. I'm actually trying to downsize and get rid of some stuff. But if it's a small little piece of something, I think it'd be really cool. Smaller the better. It would be kind of cool too, you know. Well, be careful with anything you have weapon-wise, whether it's guns or knives or blades or swords or whatever. Just be careful. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, what did we watch? So this week was the Daryl Dixon episode. Monday Night Football was crazy with the Chiefs and the Jaguars. With the Jaguars are playing pretty good this year. Watching a little bit of Bloodlines on Netflix. I started the Karate Kid Legends movie because it's on Netflix. And it starts with like an unknown, well, I guess it starts with a callback to Karate Kid 2 when Daniel is with Mr. Miyagi in Okinawa. And then it goes there, I guess they're still in Okinawa with Jackie Chan's character and then the new character Lee. And Lee's mom goes to New York and they move to New York. And Lee is going around and walking around. And Lee's pretty charismatic for not knowing anybody in New York. And he's kind of flirting with this girl he meets at a pizza shop. And it's kind of interesting already. You know, like I didn't really like the Karate Kid movie with Jaden Smith. He just it was too much wires, too much kind of craziness. But we'll have to see how it plays out with how the story. But you know, I'm interested in the Karate Kid Cobra Kai legacy and see how it plays out too. Wilson says Lenny James is in season 4 of Mayor of Kingstown, October 26th. That's when it is, October 26th. Nice. Yeah, I knew Lenny James is in it, and also Edie Falco's in it. So they just love to bring in. It's like Taylor Sheridan knows the way to bring in bigger and bigger and bigger actors in all of his shows, and it's awesome because Lenny James is a good actor. Edie Falco is a good actor. You know, like. Everyone, Mayor of Kingstown, Lioness, you know, Tulsa King, Landman, Yellowstone, all the spinoffs of that. Just huge, great, awesome actors. And so it's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to check out Mayor of Kingstown, and hopefully Lenny James is a cool character. I know Edie Falco, I think, is taking over the prison or something. She runs the prison now. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Mayor of Kingstown is a show on Paramount Plus starring Jeremy Renner. And it's a different kind of show. It's not your typical Taylor Sheridan Western, you know, country style programming. It's supposed to be in like Michigan, I believe. And it's revolved around the streets and gangs and a prison and there too. So Nurse Jackie was Edie Falco, also known as Carmelo Soprano on The Sopranos. And so we're doing that. We're excited. So that's something to watch too coming up. Tulsa King's got to be getting towards the end then, because I don't think a lot of the shows, if any, are going to overlap. But so 2 weeks from today is Mayor of Kingstown. And I don't know how many episodes we have left of Tulsa King then, but Tulsa King's always good. You know, it draws you in too. And that's another one, Robert Patrick and Sylvester Stallone and, you know, all these people bring everybody in too. So yeah, Jeremy Renner is the story of probably being lucky more than anything, but also resiliency, hard work, determination, grit. You know, just glad he's around because he seems like a nice guy and he's a good actor and he does a good job. And but yeah, when that, I don't even know what you call that thing. I know it's not a bobcat, but a huge snow plow crazy thing ran him over. Like, he probably shouldn't be alive right now. But luckily he is, and he can still act, and he's doing a good job, and hopefully he doesn't have too many limitations, problems, impairments, because it's crazy. That's crazy to think what he went through, that he's still surviving and he's thriving and he's still doing pretty good too. So, but where there's a will, there's a way. So yeah, there's a lot of good programming coming on, and next year will probably be even more and more stuff. And I don't really know of any good movies that are coming out. I'm ready to watch actually Jurassic World, whatever that's called, and then Fantastic Four, whenever that comes on streaming, I'll watch those. And then the Avengers movie next year. I don't really think the Tron Ares or whatever looks good at all, even though I do like the Tron universe in the world, and the other Tron movies were pretty cool, especially the first one. And I'm also kind of excited for Spaceballs too, because I think Spaceballs is one of my favorite satire Mel Brooks movies. And I know they're bringing everybody back as much as they could. Of course, obviously, because John Candy passed away as Barf. What's your name? Barf. Your full name, Bartholomew. It's so great. And yeah, that's definitely look forward to that. Yeah, Predator Badlands. I like how they're integrating more and more stuff with Predator and Aliens. When they have that synthetic person involved and talking with the Predator, and then the Predator just cuts the person in half, and then the thing is still looking at it. It just looks interesting. I like them blending the two worlds, because we now know, and we've known this for a while now, that Alien and Predators are in the same universe. So that's kind of cool. And I think I saw something recently that the Predator potentially could have another movie, and it could have Arnold in it. I don't think that the Predator needs to have Arnold be the main person, but I think I would love to see. But then it kind of feels like it's going in the Terminator route, where you have like all these different movies of different things with Terminators and different people playing different Sarah Connors and John Connors and this, and you're like, it just, it kind of sucks when you have too many different people playing the same role. And it's not like a total buzzkill and a total thing, but it's kind of annoying. It's like, come on. And then they bring back Linda Hamilton, but then we had another, what are we doing? What's changing here? But the Predator is always like a different Predator. Like, if you haven't seen the original Predator, I believe is one of the best. It's probably the best movie. And then Predator 2, watched it recently. It's better than I remembered, but it's all right. And then they went a different route in here, and then had Predators, and then Prey, and then The Predator, and then Alien versus Predator, and all these different Predator things. But the Predator is awesome. Like, also, hopefully, I don't know if I've said this before, but Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator. And he's much shorter than Arnold. And it just didn't look right. And the outfit was different. It was terrible. So then they luckily made the decision to change that, and they had the Predator being taller than Arnold. It was a bigger, like, bodybuilder guy. And it just was the right decision. Predator Fast and Furious. Oh, man. Family. They're part of the family. Yeah. Yeah, Genesis, the different Terminator. I don't know. It's just, I can't keep track of which Terminator movie is this one and that one or whatever, but the third, Spaceballs Predator. Yeah. The Search for More Money. Like, I love Mel Brooks. Like, he's so funny. He's so funny. Has yogurt. Lord Helmet and Princess Vespa. Man, it's just so It's just so good. Just thinking about it makes me laugh. And of course, the classic when they're combing the desert. That's one of the best. But yeah, like certain movies. Yeah, man. Now we're getting crazy. Predator, Predator, the lunchbox, Predator, the flamethrower. You know, like it's just so silly, but it's just so like long lasting too. Like all those Mel Brooks things, and that's just, you know, I was talking to my wife as well, like recently. I think it was yesterday. We were talking about like who is the next big actor, or sorry, I shouldn't take that. I should rephrase that as who's the actor now that's going to be the next big actor later on? Because like we were talking about, like it used to be probably like John Wayne and Charlie Chaplin back before that, and Clint Eastwood, and then you know below that was like Robert, because Diane Keaton just passed away, and so yeah, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, and eventually they're gonna die. You know, they're in their 80s. They have Sylvester Stallone and Arnold and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and now Jason Statham, and this and that, you know. And then you have Leonardo DiCaprio and Denzel Washington and, you know, Brad Pitt and just certain people, Mark Wahlberg, and whether you like them or not, they're like huge actors. George Clooney and, you know, so many, Robert Downey Jr. and all these people. Who's the next people that are going to be like, wow, I really like that guy? You know, Bruce Willis, you know, that was a huge one, you know, and it's a shame what happened to him. But, you know, like, I don't know. Is it Jake Gyllenhaal? Is it like who's it gonna be? Is it Timothy Chalamet? I always say Chalamet Ding Dong, like Timothy Chalamet. Like he's good, but like, is he gonna be the next big person that sticks around for a long time? You know. And you see a lot of people that are actresses, and some of them are great, and some of them aren't, and some of these, you know. Jen Ortega, yeah, exactly. Something like that could be a very good Matthew McConaughey, right? And like I don't know of a better child. Like majority of actors that are better are like the adults are better than the children. Besides like Robert Downey Jr. or like you can't even say Charlie Sheen's better than Martin Sheen. They're just different. Like I would never say that John David Washington is better than Denzel Washington. Like, no way. Like, ain't none of them people going to be better than, like, Tom Hanks. His kids are not going to be better than Tom Hanks, you know. And I don't know. But it was just, I guess it's just food for thought and like there too. Like, I don't think of, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son is going to be better than him. You know, I don't think Norman Reedus' son is going to be a better actor than Norman. You know, I don't think any of those people are going to be better actors because they probably don't have to be, because they're living the big, awesome lifestyle where you don't have to work as hard. Ryan Gosling, that's a good one. If Glenn Powell is the guy I'm thinking about that's in Running Man and everything else, I do not like Glenn Powell at all. At all. But like Tom Cruise, right? Tom Cruise is probably the biggest movie star that we've had since, I don't know, John Wayne and, you know, Clint Eastwood, those type of guys. Because De Niro and Pacino and Pesci and all that, they're kind of like their kind of roles and whatever too. But it's like, But like, who's the next Tom Cruise? Are we going to have the next Tom Cruise? Do we need to have the next Tom Cruise? Are we going to have AI making movies for us that's going to be so crazy that we don't need to have like legit really good actors? Because I personally like movies with people in them, but I do watch some animated stuff and, you know, like Marvel Zombies and, you know, certain things are animated or anime, like X-Men 97 is voiceover work. Which I really hope that like people still be doing that too. You know, like Ross Marquand can do a lot of impersonations, which is pretty cool. And I want to feel like that is always going to be around. Like, we don't need some computer playing, having the role of actors that are alive, at least, right? Like, because I know James Earl Jones sold his voice to Disney to have the voiceover work for Star Wars, which makes sense because it's good to have that, because we do need to have the same voice work being that, and that's pretty important. James Earl Jones's voice is pretty iconic, pretty awesome. Yeah, John Ritter's son is good, but again, John Ritter, was a great actor too. I really like John Ritter's stuff, especially growing up. Wilson asks, Q&A, did you hear that if Robert Kirkman can get the rights back to The Walking Dead back, he's interested in doing an animated Walking Dead series? I did not hear that. I did not see that. I did not know if that was real or not. I don't know. But what are you going to do? Like, start over from the beginning and just have Andrew Lincoln be the voice of Rick and Glenn and whatever, and it'll be the same voiceover stuff? Like, do we even need that? Because usually it would go comic, animations, live action, I believe, right? That would be the way it kind of goes. But I don't know. Robert Kirkman, again, is making a ton of money. Made a ton of money off The Walking Dead and all the spin-offs, and also Invincible and all those other comic stuff things. I wonder how much he's made from Invincible alone on Amazon. Oh, Gen V, that's the other thing we watched. Gen V. And they're definitely setting up Maria. Is that her name? Maria? Marie? I forget, Marie. Maria, I think her name is. To go against Homelander. So that's going to be, they're going to carry over Gen V cast crew story into the final season of The Boys next season too. So that should be, so like next year alone, thinking about it as well. I forget what it's called, like the Knight's Tale or something, whatever it is. I know that's not it, but the Game of Thrones story of the Knight something, whatever. And that's going to be something in January. Then we have House of the Dragon in like June, I believe. Then we have, there's a lot of stuff coming out next year. Daryl Show, Dead City. They got to keep it going. And I don't know whenever the Yellowstone spinoffs are coming out. I don't know any of the exact dates for that. But more and more stuff will be coming out, and we'll be getting to see more dates of things. Because it's be interesting to see what 2026 brings for everything in life, as always. Hopefully good times, transition again, and like I was saying before, like this has been a crazy year. Every month has been different problems, issues, excitement, just stuff from January to now. And that's how life goes. So hopefully we can get through it, keep pushing on, transitioning to bigger and better things, problem solve, resolve conflict that comes our way, and keep pushing forward one step at a time. And I'm excited to see what the future brings for us, for this channel, for the book series, Fight For Us 2. And I'm excited to see where it's going. Because I want to start writing this year, end of this year. But just been doing more and more things each weekend. It's like stuff gets in the way. I work Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week. And then I come home to try and relax and do some stuff here and there. But I just got to... The hardest part is getting started. That's always the case. With anything you create, do, try, achieve, start, whatever. Like a workout plan, joining a gym, whatever it is. So, creating a YouTube channel, writing a story, writing whatever, just anything. It's just got to find the time to do it. And once you kind of do it, it becomes your new normal. Eating right, I wouldn't wait till January for a New Year's resolution, because most people stop a New Year's resolution or give it up after like 2 weeks, which is like not really a good thing that's going to be for long-term gains. So just start now and like have the holidays, do this, do that, but don't wait. Don't keep putting it off. If it's meaningful to you, you won't wait till later. Tim says there's so many Sheridan shows that's supposed to be coming out, but a lot will be in 2026. Long time waiting for shows. But it's like, are we waiting that long? I feel like we're just spoiled with things, Right. See, Carol started Pilates 6 weeks in. Great. Go a couple times a week, set up for it, kind of do it, enjoy it, have fun with it. That's what you got to do. Find stuff that makes you happy. Next thing you know, you're doing it for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, Come up with a plan and implement it and move forward. But all right, guys, that's my time. The hour goes quick when you're having fun, right? But I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Daryl Dixon. I guess, I won't watch the finale before the stream, but we'll talk about this week's episode next week, and then the finale the following week after that. So I'll be doing my live stream. Live stream's up to the 26th, so 2 more weeks of that, and I'm going to take a little break and then go forward here and there, and then have them sporadically through the end of the year. But thank you guys for taking the time. Remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can achieve those goals, whatever they are. Keep working hard. Enjoy tonight's episode, the sports, whatever you're watching. Have a good, fun Sunday, and then, of course, back to work on Monday. But I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy, guys, and see ya.